Enemies to lovers, a tale of power and redemption. Sara Delgado and Bong Mercoleta were born into power, their destinies written in the bloodlines of their warring families. The Delgados of the south and the Mercoletas of the north had been political rivals for decades, a feud fueled by ambition, betrayal, and an ancient wound their parents never spoke of. Both heirs to their dynasties, Sara and Bong shared one dream: to become the next president of the Philippines. But with their deep hatred for each other, neither imagined they would be forced into an alliance. That was until Lena Salazar, a charismatic senator from Bicol and rising political star, threatened to outshine them both. With no other choice, they formed the Unity Party, a reluctant truce forged out of political necessity. Bong would run as president, Sara as vice president. Together, they campaigned across the country, putting on a show of unity while exchanging glares behind closed doors. They despised each other, but they needed each other. When they won by a landslide, their political marriage was over before it even began. Sara, aggressive and unyielding, saw him as weak. She challenged him at every turn, undermining his leadership. Their meetings turned into screaming matches, their public smiles barely concealing their private war. Seeing Sara as a threat, Bong conspired with his right-hand man, Congressman Martin, to bring her down. A corruption scandal exploded in the news, and before Sara could fight back, she was impeached, tried for plunder, and sentenced to prison. But fate was cruel. Months later, Bong found himself facing impeachment too. Lena, the very woman who forced them into an alliance, orchestrated his downfall. Accused of embezzlement, he was convicted and sent to the same prison as Sara. For the first time in their lives, they were on equal footing. No power, no influence, just two fallen leaders bound by disgrace. At first, the prison walls echoed with their fights. Sara blamed Bong for her downfall. Bong mocked her arrogance. But as days turned to months, hatred gave way to understanding. Conversations replaced insults. They spoke of their past, their ambitions, their families. And then they uncovered the truth. Their parents, Governor Rodrigo Delgado and former First Lady Mila Mercoleta, had once been lovers. Their romance had ended in betrayal, turning them into bitter enemies who passed down their vendetta to their children. Sara and Bong had been fighting a war they never started. Realization turned into something deeper. The fire that once fueled their rivalry transformed into an undeniable attraction. In the shadows of their confinement, they fell in love. Then, in a twist neither expected, Lena, now the president, granted them a pardon. Walking free, they left their past behind. By the time they stepped out of the prison gates, Sara carried Bong's child. They married in a quiet ceremony away from the halls of power. They had once fought to rule the country, but now all they wanted was each other. And so in the end, their greatest victory wasn't political, it was love. The feud was over. The Delgados and Mercoletas were united at last. And this time it was forever.